Hey guys, it's Chase here on Gemmy Master Animatronics, and today, as you can see, I do not have an animatronic for you, which is a little bit out of the ordinary considering this is Gemmy Master Animatronics. Today I have the Gemmy 5-foot-tall animated inflatable Dracula coming out of Coffin. I know that we don't typically do inflatables on this channel, however, the inflatable that I did last time, I think about a month ago, the inflatable carriage, got a lot of positive feedback. And we had been talking about doing more inflatable reviews on this channel, so I figured, why not kick it off again after the carriage with probably one of the most well-known inflatables that Gemmy has ever produced. Everybody knows this inflatable. I don't know a single person that has never seen this. I mean, I think even if you hate inflatables, even if you don't collect them or hate them or whatever, you've definitely seen this one before, and this one is definitely a fan favorite inflatable. This item was sold many years, I think starting from 2009 and then being sold up until 2012, I believe. It was either 2011 or 2012. I have the 2011 model, which means that this was likely one of the last years that this was sold if it wasn't sold in 2012. I know that there were a couple 12 inflatables that had this style box, but I don't know how many years this guy in particular was sold. And he actually was remade in 2019. And Gemmy did a good job remaking him. However, there were some things that were off about him that just made it completely different from the original, which I can't really go off, right? I mean, I can tell you one thing. The biggest thing that bothers me is that with the remake, instead of his head looking at you, it's facing forward, which is, that's the only, that's the biggest way you can tell these things apart. But I just got this off of Mercari. I had to have one of my friends buy it for me because I am banned from Mercari. Mercari has a very strict policy. They have zero tolerance for any mess-ups. I believe when I was little, when I was selling stuff, I messed up on a label, which I guess they then had to pay something for it, and so they banned me, which I think is absolutely ridiculous, but kind of is what it is. But then I come to realize that it was actually one of my friends selling this, and I didn't even realize it, so they contacted me saying, "Hey Chase, you just bought my inflatable." I'm like, "Oh, I did? Wow, okay." So he updates me with tracking and everything, and here it is. As you can see, the box is in fantastic shape. I mean, besides the fact that it's got tape on the top, it's in very presentable shape. And as you can see, mine is the 2011 model. Right there. That's the biggest way you can tell. Any inflatable is going to have the gear on the back of it. Maybe even the newer ones. I know it's all with the older ones, but even the newer ones might have that. So he's 5 feet long, and I believe he's only like 2 or 3 feet tall, which is not very big, but he still is perfect for, I mean, basically, like, it doesn't have to be for a scene or anything. He's just one of those inflatables that you can put anywhere, and he will be perfect. But he works the best in a graveyard, which is where I intend to use him this year. As you can see, I mean, without me inflating him, you can see he's in pretty good shape. He's got some, dirt marks and, a little bit of scuffing. I mean, it's an inflatable. It was used outside, so for it not to have, like, slight issues on the fabric would be, like, unheard of, unless this was only used inside. But there's no fading on him. He's still got, I mean, you can see he's still got his pearly white fabric right here. It's in very good shape, and the fabric is all crunchy still. It's not soft. There's some areas on here where it seems like spiders tried to build a web, which for whatever reason they are so attracted to, like, the 2010, 11, 12 inflatables, because I've had so many from that era that just have those spider webs, and it's the same exact ones too. It's these small splotch ones. Like, it's not even like a big one. It's like those small splotch ones you can just rub off. Any other inflatables I've had have never had that issue. It's literally just the ones from these years. So maybe there's like a smell or look with the fabric that like attracts them or something. I don't know, but they love it. So, but thankfully you can just, kind of flick it off and, it'll all be off. So I guess without further ado, I can go ahead and inflate it because there's not really much I can say with it deflated. So let me go ahead and inflate it for you guys. All right, here we go. I purposely waited till it was kind of like getting a little dark out so you could see the lights. You shouldn't need any help or anything. Yeah, that's good. That's just going to go down. And I like to have the cape on the outside, so I feel like it kind of also adds detail when it has it on the outside too. So here it is. As you can see, it's not very big at all. However, you know, it's got big animation. What I mean by that is like a large portion of the inflatable is moving. It's not just like, you know, he has like head turn or like something small is moving. It's the entire, the entire lid is lifting up, which you don't really see a lot of inflatables that have just giant animation like that. So as you can see, he's basically fully lit up. I mean, I really wish they had lights in the front of the coffin, which I think, no, I don't know. I think maybe the newer model might have lights in the front, but I don't think so. But he does have lights on the inside. He's got 3, I don't know if, yeah, the other one's working on this side. And then he's got like 2, 3 LED, or not LEDs, C7s in him. I guess the reason for having the lights in the inside of it is so it can like light up the entire coffin, which I'm sure looks pretty cool at night. I mean, I used to have the newer model, so I should remember, but I don't. I've never had this older model. But I can tell you that there are so many differences between this and the newer one, so I'm very happy to finally have the older model. What's notorious about the older model is that it never wants to go all the way up. I mean, that's the most it can go up. Like, it's not able to go any more up than that, and that's totally fine by me. I like how it just kind of peaks. Well, not really peaks out, but like he'll just kind of get up slightly. Along the back, there is not really any detail or anything. But you can see this is where the fan is, which is a very cool placement of it. Like, so it's not really, it is kind of, well, I guess it is at the bottom, but it also kind of peeks out of it because, you know, you can see it's not a very wide inflatable. But I just love how vibrant the colors are. These guys, you know, if you can find one, I recommend it. But I mean, I don't think any of you should have trouble finding it. I mean, I know the older model might be a little bit tough to find, but the newer one, I still think pops up sometimes. I mean, these were sold everywhere, whether it was like party stores. I think it was sold at Walmart at one point, online, like everywhere. Everybody wanted to sell these, and everybody wanted them. I mean, these were such amazing sellers. This was probably, next to the head turning cat, one of the best sellers of inflatables that Gemmy's ever done. And again, you might still be able to find this like at some sort of party store or something, because I know that there are some party stores that still have old stock, and party stores, especially Party City, were stocked to the brim with this inflatable. I mean, it's a really nice animation. It's kid-friendly, but also cool at the same time, so you've got a healthy mix there. That's a lot of what the 2011 inflatables are. They knew what they were doing with those. I mean, it's a Dracula popped out of the coffin, a very, very safe bet for Halloween. One of the only screen printing details that you're going to find on the outside of this, aside from Dracula's face and body, is just these little, what would you call them, handles. The handles right here. And I do think that they did a good, I think they made the right decision by making them screen printing as opposed to like actual fabric handles. I feel like it wouldn't have looked right if they did that. And he has 3, of course. This is just covering it up right there. And again, I love the colors that they decided to use on it. Just so many classic-y colors, and it's so cool how the entire inside of the coffin is red like velvet. He's probably got a couple zippers on him. I know with the newer one, he had a zipper that was right here. Oh, no, it still does, yeah. So he's got a zipper right here, and that's to replace the lights along this line right here, but he should also have one behind him. Yes, he does. And again, you can see that this fabric is fantastic on it. I do see like a small thin spot right here, but the reason it has a thin spot is because it's being like condensed and crushed over and over here. That's a weak point right there, because you can see that's where it's being pinched, so the fabric or the coating is just going to come right off. But there shouldn't be any. Yeah, there's none down here. That makes sense. And then one thing that I think people always not really neglect but forget that Gemmy did on this, which is such a really smart thing that they did. They have these holes right here that go all the way to the ground. Like my hand is touching the ground right now. Like this goes all the way down to the floor. Like, because if you look at the bottom, it also has those holes there. And I'm sure, without me saying, you guys can guess what it is or what they're for. But if you don't know, that's for when water gets inside this thing. So there are holes all over this where water can go through. And that is very, very smart, because this would have so many issues if water could just get inside this. So I'm very happy that Gemmy decided to do that. Very smart. And I guess the last thing I could say about this is just where the tether points are. So you can see it's got one right there and then one on the other side. Now, realistically, this is not an inflatable that you have to stake down. Yeah, I'd recommend staking down probably the fan, if anything. But this is so small. It's very long, but it's small enough to where wind is not really going to do much to this. Now, if Gemmy didn't do this, I might be a little bit on the iffy side. I wish they would have done this. I don't think they did. Yeah, they didn't. I really wish it had tether loops on the bottom right here, so you could just stake it down on each corner. I think that was not really a missed opportunity, but something that would have made it a lot better. And again, here's more of those spider webs. So I'm gonna have to spend some time getting those off. But again, aside from a couple scuffs and those annoying spider webs, this thing is basically in brand new shape. Man, it's been a while since I've done an inflatable review. I used to do them all the time, and now I'm really doing animatronic ones, so I don't know what else to say about this, but I really enjoy this inflatable. This is one that I've always wanted, and again, I did get it back in the day in like 2019, but that was the newer one, so I am psyched to have the original. I love that it has its original box. That honestly might have been the deal breaker if it didn't have its original box. And again, it is in the utmost, not perfect shape, but I mean the next best thing. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Really hope you guys enjoyed. This is the Gemmy 2011 Dracula coming in out of Coffin. A+ in my book. This is one of my favorite inflatables Gemmy's done, because it's so simple yet so effective. The kids loved it. I remember when I had the 2019 one outside, the kids absolutely loved it. Even adults too. I mean, I'd see people coming up and say, look, it's Dracula. And he'd come in and out, and he doesn't take long to come in and out. They give him just enough time to go sink all the way back down to where his coffin basically closes all the way. And they also give him enough time to get up and just be up there for a while. It's not really fast, so you're not missing it. And I will get up close real quick, I guess, because I'll show him coming in and out. There's his face. And he's got some great pop-out detail. That is one thing I forgot to mention. One thing you're going to find with a lot of 2011 inflatables, and I always say 2011, that applies to like 2009, 10, 11, because all this stuff was remade those years, as far as I remember. You're going to see a lot of pop-out details on the Halloween ones. So instead of like the nose being screen printing or the eyebrows, they decided to make it pop out, which looks fantastic, but everything else on the face is screen printed, and as you can see, the screen printing is perfect on it. There's no imperfections. And he's got his, there's a name for it, and I can't think of what it is right now, but it's basically his necklace, I guess. His necklace that's all screen printed too. And yeah, again, this is a very simple design, so there's not too much I can say. The hand is all sewn up here, which holds it onto the coffin. But yeah, that's basically it. Really hope you guys enjoyed. And I hope to do more inflatable reviews in the future. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. And if we do more inflatable reviews, I promise to get back into the swing of things, because I know that my words were kind of like all over the place with this one, because there's not too much to be said about it, but I know back in the day I was kind of like a pro at just coming up with crap all about these things, and I could just talk for hours. But yeah, that's basically it. Really hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys again next time.